Okay, it's 7 PM, November 12th, 2024. I'd like to call the public hearing of the 2025 town budget to order. Is there,
Everyone should have a copy. If you need one, they're sitting on the back table there.
I'll make the first call for anyone that wants to make public comment on the 2025 proposed budget. Second call for anyone that wants to make public comment on the proposed 2025 town budget. Third call for anyone that wants to make public comments on the proposed 2025 budget. Doesn't look like anybody.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the public hearing of the proposed budget.
Second motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed say nay. Motion carries. Public hearing holds at 7:01 PM, November 12th. Anyone want to call the electors meeting to order?
You can do that as the chair.
You can, yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
November 12th, 7 PM. At 7:01 PM, I'd like to call the Town of Lake Mills special town meeting of the electors to order. Discussion or decision to approve the total 2025 highway expenditures pursuant to section 81.03, parentheses 3 of Wisconsin statutes of $468,212.45.
Now, this is the meeting where the electors are able to make the motions. So if you make a motion, and you have to be a town elector. I know some people here are not town electors, so when you make the motion, please state your name so I know who it is.
Margaret Krieger.
You're motioning to approve it?
What's your motion?
It's not to approve it, is it? It's to hold it or whatever? Or
No, it's to approve the highway expenditures,
Okay.
yeah. Is that your motion then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can we get a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Did you need a hand count on that or anything, or?
None on this one. Next
No,
one.
that's when we do, and that's when we need the
All
resolution.
opposed,
read.
say nay. Motion carries. All right, 3, discussion or decision to approve the 2024 total town tax levy of $727,735 to be collected in 2025 pursuant to Wisconsin statute 60.101A. And you want me to read the resolution?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Resolution number 2024-112. Whereas Wisconsin statute 60.11A authorize the town electors of a town to adopt the town tax levy at a town meeting of the electors. Whereas a special town meeting of the town electors has been called and properly noticed to approve the 2024 total town tax levy to be collected in 25 pursuant to Wisconsin statute 60.101A. Therefore, a special town meeting of the town of Lake Mills, Jefferson County, Wisconsin by a majority vote of the eligible electors duly assembled voting on this 12th day of November 2024 hereby resolves and orders the follows. 1, the town electors of the town of Lake Mills, Jefferson County, Wisconsin adopt the total town tax levy for 2024 to be collected in 2025 in the amount of $727,735. 2, the town clerk shall properly post or publish this resolution as required by law under Wisconsin statute 60.881A within 30 days after its adoption. Adopted this 12th day of November 2024 at a special town meeting of the town of electors.
Now, when you call the question, this is where just do a show of hands. Electors only though, okay?
All in favor say aye, or raise your hand.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay.
All opposed, raise your hand.
Okay,
Let the record show nobody opposed.
abstain?
Anyone abstain? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Can we get a motion to adjourn the special meeting of electors?
I make a motion to adjourn special meeting.
Can we get a second?
Second. Nope, go ahead.
Mike.
Second over there.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries to adjourn the special meeting of electors, 7:05 PM on November 12th. Okay, it's 7:05 PM on Tuesday, November 12th, 2024. I'd like to call a public hearing for proposed ordinance amendments. And the amendments are,
These were all posted with the amendments on the town's website.
yep. And the amendments for town ordinance 4-1, general offenses, 5-5, regulation of traffic on the icebound waters of Rock Lake, and 5-16, placement of homes or structures on parcel of land outside the platted subdivision.
You just ask for public comment.
Any public comment? Going once?
Could you just explain what the difference is between the old one and the new one? Or making
Should
sure.
have the red line copies right there.
Me?
One of you.
Yeah, there's
I have just the final ones to sign.
Title 5, Chapter 16, placement of homes or structures outside of platted land divisions. There's an error in the bookmark, isn't defined. The structural site on page 5, the structure site review form, site plan, and application fee instead of payment of $50 shall be given to the town clerk 15 days prior to the next town plan commission meeting. Town meetings are held on the first day of Tuesday each month and then crossed out as 8 PM unless you're contacted with a different time and date.
So just basic and minor
Clerical
changes.
errors. yeah.
Clerical errors on that one.
So there's not much for the icebound waters of Rock Lake then?
That's,
Yeah,
this,
that's that one.
that's next year. So 5-5-3, in that section, Rock Lake watershed is crossed off and inserted as Town of Lake Mills, Jefferson County, Wisconsin, which are regulated by local ordinances adopted under section 30.81-1 and crossed out are not invalid. So basically they're covered under the local ordinances. And then under 5-54, subsection 3, reasonable and prudent is defined as the speed determined to be lower and a motor vehicle is crossed off on that. Then the posted speed limit due to the circumstances such as rain, ice, heavy traffic, and poor conditions. Next page, 5-5-5-2, no person shall operate a vehicle or snowmobile at a speed greater than is reasonable and prudent, and these are clerical, for the existing conditions while having regard for the actual and potential hazards present. So there's a couple line items scratched off. It was just poor wording, basically. And then 3, no person shall endanger the safety of any person or property by the negligence or reckless operation, which is inserted, of a vehicle while upon the icebound waters of Rock Lake and its tributaries. Any reckless manner is crossed off. So just rewording and better clarification again, grammatically. And then 6, any vehicle that becomes disabled, partially embedded, or submerged in water or ice on Rock Lake or its tributaries shall be removed within 48 hours unless it's deemed a hazard by the town chair or the chief of police, in which case, which is inserted, it will have to be removed immediately. And then under 5-5-7, rules and regulations, basically there's a few things crossed out. The town board shall have the authority from time to time to adopt, amend, alter, and repeal rules, regulations as may be necessary for proper administration of this chapter, and crossed out is such regulations shall be adopted in accordance with the procedures established by Title I, Chapter 18 of this code.
So a lot of
None
this,
And then the names on the back page are changed.
so a lot of this stuff, is gonna be discretion to the officer, correct? As being reckless or,
Yes.
poor conditions.
And the changes, like they said, were grammatical. None of it changes how it's actually been.
How it functions.
How it functions.
And then general offenses, it basically was the same thing, it's just same lingo. Changes on it. Any other discussion? Or any other public comment on this first call? Any secondary public comment to the town ordinances 4-1, 5-5, 5-16? Third call.
Making a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Second.
Yeah, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right, it's 7:11 PM, Tuesday, November 12th, 2024. I'd like to call the Town of Lake Mills Town Board meeting to order. Notice posted at the Town Hall on the town's website. Can we get a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
I'll make that motion to adopt as printed.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. We get approval of the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of October 8th.
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okay, we get a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Can we get approval of the town board expense sheets? I think there were several of those.
Yeah, I had one for election costs, total 187.92.
Just one.
Yeah, just,
Make a motion to approve the expense sheet for Robin for the postage and flowers for Wayne Martin, our past chairperson, for his funeral.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Can we get approval of the general fund vouching?
I make a motion to approve disbursements of $60,273.05.
Second.
Any other discussion? Nope.
there was just one clarification about what the, I think it was one of the last checks that were written for Sunset,
Somerset.
or Somerset, yeah.
Did you you get that email this afternoon or no?
Yeah, I forwarded it to you.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it basically was them helping, but along with Matt.
It was North Lancs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. We got the
so it was nice that they
clarification.
updated the invoice for us.
Yeah, I called Travis and, because there was too many things going on this summer over at Ferry and stuff. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Just took them a little while to get it over. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Report. Police report, Chief Kaminsky.
For October 2024, we had 3 hours of patrol time with the boat, and then the boat was pulled from the lake and winterized. Between myself and Randy Burns, Officer Burns, we've been working on the final report, so we intend to have the final report done this month as it needs to be turned in by December for the boat. I'm having a problem with the computer right now, so I know Sergeant Miller worked a patrol shift in October. I just can't get it to print out what he did, but I know he worked one in October, so.
Okay. Any questions for Chief Kaminsky?
Did you get a hold of that pilot that landed on the lake?
I was able to run the number, and I do have a name now of the
Okay.
pilot. He's out of Milwaukee.
Okay.
Good. Thanks, Chief.
Yep.
Plan Commission report.
Yeah, that's me. The rezone for Feebach Brothers on Highway 134 was approved, or passed on to the town board for approval. The zoning change and conditional use request for Matt Hazel was approved. And we reviewed ordinance 522 and 526. 522 Parks, they moved it on to the town board, so I'll get that corrected and bring it back probably in December. 5-26 raising of buildings, we're working on that one, so, yeah,
Okay,
that's it.
excellent. Thanks, Jim. Fire and EMS reports.
On the commission level, nothing to report.
Okay. Chief, Russ, you have any reports for
You
city?
bet. So our annual mailer went out towards the end of October. Hopefully, it's not everybody's getting one per acre that they own this time. It should be only by the address, as we did last year. Incidents out on I-94 really kept us busy out there. We burned up a couple vehicles out there. We had one that was on the Dane County line. There was a little confusion there between the callers as to where that actually was. Ended up being on this side of the county line. Fire in the town of Lake Mills on Sandy Beach, which was at the end of October, ended up destroying a pickup truck, a boat, and some damage to the property as far as the detached garage and the house itself. Some minor damage of siding kind of melted and wilting on the neighbor's property due to the location of the fire. Crews were able to get there, get it extinguished before it made any further damage into the house, which was good. Fire training for this month. So far, we've done search rescue maydays for firefighters, and tonight they're out on water rescues with the airboat and deploying our RDC. And then at the quarterly meeting, I know we talked a little bit about the dry hydrants that the township has on the lake. The one on the north end, it appears that it has been hit at some point, which caused it to crack. So that one is more than likely non-usable at this time. And then the one on Elm Point was just buried under heavy sediment, is what we've seen so far with that. So that's the only update I have.
Were you planning on using those? Because I know they kind of got abandoned due to inexperience, and they sucked the fish into one of the pumps and wrecked the pump. And then we had, somebody was power loading and smashed one of them, and the
That
insurance
appears to be
company
what happened at the
north end.
Yeah.
So what's your plan?
The idea would be is that I personally don't believe that they were put out far enough, and which could be the depth based on the location. Maybe there's a better location for it. I know for pulling tenders and vehicles into that location, it's a great area. It's off the roadway, it gets us out of the way. However, you have to go out quite a bit of ways because it's really shallow on that end.
Right.
The rock is pretty heavy over on that side. So there could be a different location for something like that to be put. The other part is normally when they're constructed, they're normally like a heavy brass strainer that's put on the end of them, so that we don't suck fish into them.
Yeah.
These appear like they may have not been built that way with a heavy strainer on the end.
Yeah.
Normally what you like to do is you like to get them in about 6 feet of water is the prime location for them, because then you get down deep enough where even with low levels, you don't end up hitting them with the boats.
Sure.
But obviously this lake does go through its cycle of its high level during the summertime, and then it gets its drawdown over the winter and into spring, so.
Yep.
People loading on the north end, it definitely is in an area that could have been stronger. This close to the boat landing as it is. Prime idea would be is move it over maybe 50, 20 feet, just to get it away from the boat landing as much as possible. But to reconstruct that through the heavy rock there might be burdensome. I'm sure it was probably burdensome when you put it in. I don't know if anybody remembers putting it in or not.
I remember the one on Elm Point, but north end, I don't know, that was.
It was done with it was a grant from the fire station, got it. Randy Cool would know how it was put in. He was on the fire department at that time. That's all I can tell you.
Other than that, that's all I have. Any questions for me?
Excellent. Thanks, Chief Russ. Joint Rock Lake Committee report.
Good evening. We've mostly been focusing on the wake boat situation, and we don't have a formal report. I think I sent that off to you already because of numerous situations. We didn't have a quorum for one of our meetings, and we had to move some meetings around. We will be meeting tomorrow and hopefully finalizing our report. But I sent Robin an electronic version of kind of a draft of what we've been working on. I'll give you just some brief things that we've been thinking about. I'm not going to go over the whole report, but the basic issues we've been looking at is the ballast water transferring invasive species, as you know, and I'm going to give you kind of the kind of editorial things that we've been hearing, because general public have been coming to our meeting, and you're hearing that, yes, the ballast water can be totally drained if it's done properly. And sometimes they say it can't be totally drained. So there's scientific studies on all sides. There's a lot of research that really needs to be done before, we can make a real educated recommendation. So it's really hard. The other thing is the erosion damage to the shore. That's real. Everybody says it's real, so that happens. But how far away from shore do you really have to be to eliminate that damage? Some people say, 400 feet, some say 700 feet, some say the other side of the lake. And, what kind of lake and what kind of boat do you have to have? What kind of ballast depth do you have to have? So there's a lot of studies to really look at. And the other thing is, as a lot of everybody knows that are in technology, it changes every 3 months, every 4 months, every 5 months. And the manufacturers, I'm sure they don't want to damage lakes. They want to keep their boats in the lake. So they're changing it, and they're trying to make benefits to our lake. So there's a lot of wait and see. So we're studying that as much as we can. And there's also the scouring of the bottom of the lake. So we're looking at that. So, how deep do you have to be before you prevent the scouring at the bottom of the lake, which means, ripping up the whole bottom of the vegetation. Because if you scour the bottom of the lake and you rip up the vegetation, what's going to grow? Not the most desirable vegetation is going to grow back. And that's not necessarily what the fish and the habitat want to live in. So I don't know. We don't know that necessarily all about that yet. So again, then our recommendations we've been thinking about are maybe, do we need to wait and see a little bit? Do we need to study this for another year or whatever? That's an idea. And while we're waiting and seeing, do we need to educate the public with some education programs, and maybe at the boat launches, some educational pamphlets they need to read, or some QR codes that lead them to information that say, on our lake, we recommend that maybe you do this, because people want to do the right thing, we think. So if we say, the standard thought process is, stay 400 feet away from shore, and, be sure you empty your ballast, and be sure you do, these things. So education is another big thing that we would really like to do. The other thing is, we tell you to recommend to the state, do something. We want you to do something, because, states should maybe do it. Government should say, this is what you need to do. Now, the state has tried to do it before. It hasn't gotten out of committee. It hasn't gotten anywhere yet. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't tell you to do it, okay? And maybe we would recommend the city should do it. Some cities have done it. Write their own ordinance. Ordinance would say, Lake Ripley has said, we don't want you to use your wake boats as a wake boat. They can have their wake boat on there, but you can't use it as a wake boat. Too much damaging. So there's a lot of things for us to think about, and let me tell you, we're thinking about it, and we will be we'll be doing some of that more research in the coming couple meetings. I also want to let you know that I will be resigning from the committee probably in January. I'll be giving you a written resignation, but it's just getting to be there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing or that I want to be there. I do want to be there, but it's just a bandwidth issue right now. So I'll be resigning probably in January. Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy. Town Chairman report, city, county, state communications, not a lot there at the county. The big thing was I got a call from Brian about potential traffic study that they were going to conduct because they had gotten contacted from some residents as well on that apartment complex across from the Terranita Park there.
And that's the complex the city is looking at, right?
Yeah. That's all I have. Parks Committee report, no meeting. 11, period of public comment. This is the time the general public can come to the podium. Please state your name and address and keep your comments to less than 3 minutes. Anyone for public comment tonight? Okay, applications, discussion or decision of rezone request made by Feebach Brothers Partnership for the creation of a 1 to 1.2 acre buildable A3 lot from a 60 acre A1 parcel in Highway 134.
Well, I'm here on behalf of the Feedback Brothers, and if you have any questions, I'm here to answer those. We're zoning a 1 acre park in a corner from A3 to from A1 to A3, we're requesting. It's clustered, it's right next to another single-family resident parcel. Seems to be appropriate rezone request, and we request approval so we can move it on to the county.
You can talk about the parks fee at the park commission.
No.
So when there's a lot that is being rezoned from A1 to A3, there is a parks, in lieu of parkland, we request fees.
Oh, okay,
Is it $2,500?
okay, I was unaware of that, but
Yeah, and it's not due until everything's been approved going through the county.
through the county,
Yeah.
okay,
So you have it handy for any building permits to take out.
okay, sounds good.
The only other comment that was made at the planning commission was on the driveway, to check with the state, because it's state highway.
Right. I think there's an existing field road access there, and, but absolutely, we'll have to check with the state.
Is there any limitations on any other parcel splits on that? Does that need an affidavit signed?
The access to, I'm assuming that access that goes into the other, the adjoining property, that is on the other side of the property line, right?
It would be on the field, let's call it a field road.
Yeah,
That is within the certified survey map,
okay.
on the south edge of that.
Right, yeah, south edge, yeah. Okay.
Is that the question?
Yeah, because I'm just kind of curious because it kind of, you want to landlock.
Yeah, no, it would be within that CSM,
Right, yeah.
proposed CSM.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Thank you, and I'll note to the Feedback Brothers about the park.
Yeah, is there an email address or anything that I can send the copies of this to, with the signed copies?
Sure, can you send it to me?
Yeah. What's your email?
So it's mrumpf@rumpflaw.com.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, B, discussion or decision of rezone and conditional use for Matt and Allison Hazel for business use at W7778 Conservation Road.
This again was at the plan commission. They, like I said earlier, they approved it, or recommended approval from the town board. Again, we clarified the parcel in the back. This is a new copy. Someplace I wrote it on here. The portion that they're rezoning to A2 is in this back portion right here.
Yep, okay.
Okay. And this front portion is going to remain the A3. And the house, I guess, is rented out. Matt's renting that house out.
So this is the A2 portion.
So Jimmy said that that's the whole area, not just the building?
Area around
The
there.
whole area.
The whole area,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Man, do you see any, I see you have it for normal business hours. Do you see that, any change to that? No, I mean, you're not gonna put a welding shop and start running grinders and thing, and, 5 o'clock in the morning.
No,
are you?
no. Just the only time we'd be out of normal business hours would be call-outs.
Yeah, emergencies and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, it's pretty standard from, 7 in the morning or 8 when we take the kids to school till 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah. And it's, you can do your regular equipment that you're running, right? Going in and out of there because it is kind of a
Yeah.
township road, but.
Yeah, no, I don't haul any materials in from anywhere else. Anything that comes, any of my small jobs comes right with, from a quad, from Holman's or House Brothers or wherever. So I don't store anything there except,
Your own personal.
yeah, personal stuff pretty much. Anything that comes off a job is my personal stuff comes back to that site. As far as wood or wood chips, I don't sell any products out of there. There's no, no customers coming to that site, no sign, no lights, and it's pretty quiet. I don't really do any or very little work there. And we split some wood there once in a while, but very little chainsaw stuff, so.
So this would be two separate motions, one for the result, one for conditional use.
You did mention, I believe, that you maybe in the future would build another shed or something.
Yeah, I'd like to put everything under storage, or most everything under storage, and it was a recommendation from Sarah from the county to just make it aware that I would, in the future, 3 to 5 year plan to have an existing outbuilding out there, dry storage. And it would stay on the gravel pad that's already there, obviously if it was approved, but, and I don't know the size of that for now.
Yep, right. And it's allowed by the zoning and stuff anyway. So, I'll make a motion to approve the rezone to A2 in the back, 1 point. I guess we had a question, was that 1.9 or 1.09?
It must be 1.09, I believe it's only.
The 1.09 acres. Second.
Discussion.
The only other thing is now, because you have the two driveways, then, if you decide to sell the house off, then you would have to, assuming you have that resurveyed, so one driveway would service each, the house, and then the other one would be for the A2.
Yeah, because we couldn't get, we couldn't keep the front residential lot. We couldn't keep it 1 acre and have one driveway or the other, so it's just gonna be access from the back. No future plans of ever selling it off and keep it all together. Otherwise, it'd have to get rezoned and then have an easement or, something that has to be changed, but
Someday.
yeah.
We see a lot of stuff.
Yeah, exactly, who knows, but, yeah,
Just a thought.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as the two driveways are there, that's great.
yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, say nay. Motion carries on the rezone. Can we get a motion for the conditional use?
I make a motion to approve the conditional use.
Second?
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
I'll email you the signed copies in the county as well, so they have it.
Old business, discussion or decision on fire contract with City of Lake Mills.
We didn't get a new one. When I met with Drake, city manager, after our last meeting, went over the changes that we had discussed here, which weren't very many. And he was going to run them by the city attorney, and then when that got finalized, he would present it to the city council for approval. And then
Then
it
it's
would come to
kicked
us.
back here. Yep, okay, so nothing to do there.
Nothing to do there for tonight.
Okay.
So I make a motion to postpone that discussion to a
Second.
later meeting.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's tabled. All right, B, discussion or decision of Cambridge Fire EMS Services. I don't think there's much there either, is there?
No, unless you guys got anything you wanna add to the,
I can just throw in our most recent reports, so just so the board has a copy. It's gonna be by zone. Pay special attention to, of course, the township. We can talk about that either tonight or at a later time. Then we're going to go to your utilization of your wages and staffing for the ambulance this year. Again, it might be something that you review in ask questions about later on if you want. Well, 6:42, let's make sure I put my thing, then I'm gonna give you one big report too. See that your township is second in line for busiest for our call volume so far for the year. And I can stay at the podium if you have any questions, you want to talk about it. I yield to you guys if you have a question. One of the reports in front of you is, again, this is done by zones. Where it's pertinent is for your township. You'll see that last month, 15, and the total in the district was 55. And then, of course, for the year, you'll see that town of Lake Mills has done 100, we've had 137 EMS calls, which is quite busy, for a total in the district of 642. Yeah, this is how our reporting software runs it. I mean, probably a better term for it would be the run by community. We do run into from time to time some discrepancies because the village of Cambridge, Dane County, and then of course the village of Cambridge, Jefferson County. That's obviously when you're looking at this, you can count those as all village of Cambridge calls. So every once in a while we'll have a call that bounces over to in this zone report, village of Cambridge, when it was really Jefferson County, when it was really an Oakland call, but it's pretty rare. This would be the most accurate that we can get for you for runs by district or runs by community. So your big report that I think you're going to want some time to look through, but probably just kind of give you a way to navigate it. The first page is going to be the unit hours in January. So this is going to tell you how many hours we had ambulances staffed other than the primary. This does not include staffing for the primary ambulance, which is based in Cambridge. And then you'll have a calculation for car 90, which is the command or chase car, and we also utilize it for trainings. And then we've got an estimated cost with a base wage in there for $17,000 for January. If you flipped over to February, you'd notice that car 90, 92, and 94 again are shown with days it's staffed, number of hours staffed, and then you'll notice that there's a different wage there because we had different hours covered in January versus February. So this too is taken off a similar reporting software that we have in-house that tracks all of our calls, the calls that we respond to, and we're able to pull this report off of that. It did take some cross-referencing to our scheduling software that we use as well. And then also obviously utilizing our wages calculations. We use the average wage. We have some wages that are higher if it's a lieutenant that's on duty versus a EMT basic. So we took the average wage to arrive at these numbers. If you page through all of it and you get almost near the end of it, you're going to see that a year-to-date was $89,390. This is going to be the best number that we can give you that we've spent so far on wages, staffing, the backup, reserve ambulance, and car 90. That does not include October, November, and December. So when we're all said and done, we should be on pace to be pretty close to the contractual amount of money that you pay us per year for the EMS services. And this is going to be pretty close to covering wages for that. Again, it's going to be dependent upon how many calls we have in November and December and how many we had in October as well.
Just a clarification. These reports are strictly for what you're working in.
This is Lake Mills reporting only. Of course, we've kind of gotten in this discussion with this board and the other boards before. We're not exclusive to Lake Mills, so you will have some ambulance coverage when we're up here, and if Cambridge calls for a second ambulance, if Oakland calls for a second ambulance, we're going to provide mutual aid just like we do for your community as well. There's been multiple times during the year so far where you've gotten both of our ambulances, one out of Cambridge one here and then vice versa, where we've gone and taken the ambulance that's here in the town of Lake Mills and taken it down to Cambridge or Oakland to cover a call. So there would definitely be some discrepancies related to that ambulance sometimes going down to provide mutual aid and to help out our neighbors and to try to, help them out if they have multiple back-to-back calls. Same applies though for your township. There's been numerous times throughout the year where your township has had back-to-back overlapping calls, and some of those we've been successful at covering, and some of them we've had to call mutual aid for. I know for a fact that we've had to call on Lake Mills City Fire a couple times, and they've had their ambulance respond to help us out with back-to-back calls.
And then also, Paul, on the flip side, we do have to mutual aid, that is a chargeable call.
We bill the patient's insurance for that. We continue to do that. We've always done that. We have a pretty liberal write-off policy, which has helped your citizens as well. I know of at least 2 citizens from the town of Lake Mills. Our district policy has always been not to send people to collections when they can't pay their EMS bill. Some services do that, particularly for profit, but some will send to collections. We do not. We will work with the patient or family member, as we have with a couple members in Lake Mills, and we get their insurance to pay what they can pay, and then the district writes off the rest. And obviously that's particularly important in the communities that we cover, because there's a lot of fixed income and elderly that, a couple $1,000, if we get $500 or $600 from Medicare, we're not going to get much more than that. So, good question.
Are you getting honed in on peak times?
Yes, we are. So we have done a peak time study, and we're going to have that to be able to present to you guys hopefully at the next meeting. But we've asked for peak times a couple times, and we had to go back and rerun a report because we were crossing over with the other communities. We really want a peak time report just for your community, which helps us understand how we can staff the ambulance more efficiently here. But we definitely know that your busiest time, at least in the town of Lake Mills, is not Saturdays and is not Sundays. It particularly seems to be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, at least in the top 3 right now. So we'll have a better report for you in the future to show you that. Yeah, a second shift, and the second shift is the busiest time. So 3 to 11, that's usually the busiest for us. So we see that your call volume drops off after 12 o'clock really steep. So after 12 o'clock at night, we don't have a lot of calls, and that's true district wide. So
then in January, February, March, the labor is higher than the rest of the month. So are you kind of looking at right now to stay within our per capita of around that $9,700, $10,000 a month? That's what
yeah, our goal always is going to be, the commitment we made to you is that to try to utilize your monies the best that we can and the most efficiently. If I was going to stand before you right now and say that the $117,000 that you're contracting with us and we're going to hit that right on the head, I would be telling a story. It's going to be close, but we're trying to make sure that ambulance is staffed as efficiently as it can, keeping obviously the economics in mind and what you pay us contractually to do that. So we're going to be pretty close. If you look at where we're at with October, November, and December to go, we're going to be real close with that.
Yeah.
That obviously fluctuates based on call volume as well, though. So please understand that you might see a month where wages were 11,000, and then you might see another month where wages were 16, 17, even 18,000. That can have to do with call volume, how much we're staffing part-time and paid on call. Lake Mills, pretty much for the most part, at least in the last 9 to 10 months, we had a little crossover at the beginning of the year. We've almost exclusively been staffed with part-time and paid on call. We do not use, regardless of rumor mill, we do not use full-time overtime to staff the second ambulance in Lake Mills. So the full-time ambulance in Cambridge is staffed 24/7, 365 with full-time staff members. So
run call, where are we at with that?
Run fee revenue?
Yeah.
Run fee revenue, we're projected to be 400 plus. The last time we pulled a report, we were already at 350 plus with, most half of October to go and November and December. So your township is going to be responsible for somewhere between 80 to 100K of run revenue fees that the district has brought in. So And that's not able to be narrowed in until the end of the year on exactly how much that is, but we can certainly tell you that we can just in general talk about how many calls the district has run per year. We talked about this the other day when we met, and you can come up with a percentage and we can get close. So we're estimating about 80 to 100K by year end for your township. So
you're talking 220,000 contribution to the district.
very much so, and we're particularly proud of the operations, in the town of Lake Mills. Just so we all are on the same page. You guys had quite a sticky situation with the previous EMS provider, giving notice to go out of business. So we're really proud that where we're at. Do we think that we can improve upon services? Absolutely. Do we think that we can be even more fiscally responsible with your operation? Yeah, we actually do. It kind of takes a little bit to get a handle when it's a brand new area. As you know, we were only doing a small percentage of your area, so we're starting to get a better understanding now that all the numbers are coming in, now that we're seeing where revenue's at, we're seeing when your peak times are. So we're proud of where we're at and that we're going to be that close to the wages and the finances, but most importantly, we're proud of the service that we provide to the community, and it's been because of each one of you and because obviously of the staff and the cooperation of the district as well that we've been able to provide their service, and we're very proud of our people and we're very proud of the service we've been able to provide to your community. That remains district-wide that the first ambulance always gets out the door in under 2 minutes, so that ambulance is always rolling, and I know you didn't always have that. That ambulance is always rolling in under 2 minutes from time of call. So we're particularly proud of that as well. The Lake Mills operation certainly does benefit from the second ambulance as well. As I mentioned, we've had multiple times this year where we've had to use both ambulances, and the one from Cambridge was up here in Lake Mills, just like you guys have helped out your neighbors in Oakland and Cambridge and other places with multiple ambulance calls there. So.
One more question for you, Paul, too, is I see the notifications come through when, you have a lot of activity with back staffing. How long does it take you to get back staff?
It really depends on where they're coming from, so I hate to give you a specific answer. Backstaffing can vary. We can get people in from the village of Cambridge, which we have a couple in the village of Cambridge, and we can get them in a couple minutes. But if they're coming from, some of them are coming from Albion near, Edgerton area, that can take 10 minutes to get to Cambridge. More often than not, a majority of our backstaffing is going to take at least minimum of 5 to 10 minutes to get somebody in. So it's definitely longer to get the second ambulance out. Again, your township gets the primary ambulance if there's going to be any delay. So you're going to start getting that ambulance out of Cambridge, and sometimes that ambulance gets canceled. The other ambulance goes en route and we're able to, or our medical director, which is our doctor that oversees our service, has a philosophy that many hands make light work. So he a lot of times will ask us if it's a critical patient to have both ambulances go. That doesn't apply to just your township. That applies to all the townships. So there will be times when critical patients, pulseless non-breathers, respiratory arrest or distress, trauma, as you know in your township, unfortunately we had a shooting, fatal shooting. We're gonna put all hands on deck on that call, and with the cooperation of working with other first responder agencies, that helps, but we try to utilize our staff as well. So good question. You're welcome to shoot me any questions by email as well related to these reports. I realize the report that I just handed you is fairly in-depth, and it covers all the way through all the way through October, so you're welcome to shoot me any emails.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, C, discussion or decision on building and construction of Rock Lake Road, North End Boat Launch Construction Project. Haven't heard anything on that, so maybe next month. New business, discussion or decision of approval of 2025 budget.
I'd like to have a chance to review a few things with Robin and push this off for approval until December.
Table till December.
It's not gonna change any of the numbers we did approve tonight as far as the levy and the highway budget, but I want to get a better handle on our cash applied dollars that we cash applied and where that came from.
Sure.
How we're going to pay for the boat and because at the last budget meeting, we forgot about that, and on the way home, I emailed Rob and told her, we got a cash apply 45,000 out of the capital outlay account. So I want to get a better accounting of that, so.
Make a motion to table.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries the table till next month.
And we'll talk about this sometime.
Yeah.
B, discussion or decision of winter maintenance contract with Forest Landscaping and Construction.
We didn't really have a contract, right? We just had
It's just
some
the-
Just had the
increased
fee
numbers.
increases.
I'll make a motion to
Yeah.
approve the increase in fees for Forest Landscaping to do winter maintenance.
Second.
Any other discussion? It all seemed pretty reasonable. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision to purchase a new patrol boat and trailer and auction of old patrol boat trailer.
Do we have any better numbers?
On a Lund crossover that we discussed, the asking price is just almost 62,000, but with the state contract pricing for 2025, we can get that boat. That would come complete with everything that we would need to, other than lighting and a siren and things like that. But operationally wise, it comes with everything. We wouldn't have to add anything to it. It also comes with the wider gunnel, which makes it a little easier for patrol work and making a stop. And the final price on that one is $41,100.
How much did you think that we would need for outfitting it for the, like? the
We
lights and
discussed
such?
40,000 for the boat and 5,000 for outfitting. When we discussed it at the meeting, I didn't think we'd need 5,000 to outfit it. I
Yeah.
still don't think we'd need 5,000 to outfit it, especially at the 41.1. This boat would be coming with everything that we would need to essentially make it operational. We just need to add our computer, lights, and a few things, and I still think we can do that all at that price and the 5,000.
Okay.
46 one.
Newer transfer. New lights, new siren.
Yeah, we would
You just,
do.
okay.
Some of it, our radio is brand new.
think.
That radio that's in that boat is brand new. Our computer is fairly new. Those things will work just fine. The siren itself probably could be upgraded.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
It's fairly old. and The lights are really old.
Yeah, old boat.
Yeah.
Sure.
Size?
So there's a few
57.
upgrades we would make.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
If I may ask, are you planning on putting sonar on the boat at all, per chance?
No.
Okay.
Just for everybody's understanding, we have a capital outlay account which reserve of $57,909. And that's where the money for the boat's gonna originally come from. So that's what I was saying before, we were gonna cash apply money out of that account to our budget to offset the cost of this, so we're not charging residents additional tax. They've already paid for this boat in past years. The other thing is, the boat's paid for in 5 years by the DNR.
DNR, yeah.
So you can do a percentage every 5 years, and at the end of the 5 years, that 45,000 or whatever is completely paid. DNR pays it, reimburses us, so.
Can we take that $5,000 and then replenish the capital outlay account with that money?
It would have to come out of when we receive the money from the boat audit, we'd have to allocate a portion of it back to that capital fund.
Yeah, because I think that would be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And Randy and I did talk with the recreation warden for our area about the boats. He's the one who recommended the Lund boat as well. It's their boat that they use. It's one that, we will have no issue with our reimbursement.
With approval and stuff,
Right.
yep.
It's the one
Okay.
they
That's
would
good to know.
recommend us to use.
Trailers included.
Trailers included, motors, and this one is all set.
Ready to go.
Yep.
And that's also a clarification on this capital fund that we're talking about. It also will pay for a vehicle squad at some point as well. That's why we started this, so we're not scrambling to pay for something when we need it.
No, the squad, Sharon, we have a separate account for that
No,
squad
this
car,
is the
don't we?
same one.
No, we have a police car reserve.
Yeah,
A separate police car
yeah,
reserve?
for sure we do.
23
That was the same one.
We did it a couple years
Oh,
ago.
that's right, we did keep it separate, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think there's 23,000 or something
Yeah.
in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the
Everything's
treasurer's
the same.
report.
Yeah.
I didn't
the
print it.
treasurer's report.
Oh, you didn't print it?
No, because it came late.
Because I lumped them together and I'm doing the audit information, so I apologize.
Anyway, we won't take any more money, Dave, we won't take any more money out of that account than we need to pay for the vote.
Right, yeah, it's just that, you know, Jim, it's hard to put that money back in there, you know, because we've been,
Police car
so
reserve.
that's the only thing, so.
Oh, yeah. It's at 21,000 for the police car.
Okay.
So then, do we have to have electors' permission to sell
No.
the old boat, or can we do that?
We
No,
can-
that we can do that on auction.
Okay.
Can't we, or is that?
Yeah, we don't need approval. You only need approval on public works projects.
Okay.
So this is not. This is like purchasing a road grader or something. You can do that.
So what are we gonna do with that?
We want to wait till next
Wanna make
month
a
to make,
motion? No, we're gonna approve it tonight.
Yeah,
Wanna
right now,
approve
yeah.
it
it's on here.
That way we can update our budget right away.
okay, all right.
I make a motion that we purchase a new patrol boat and trailer and sell the old, put the old patrol boat and trailer on auction.
You gonna put a?
Out for bids on the state auction
Yeah,
thing.
so you're gonna put $4,600, Jim, or what?
4,500.
4,500, second, 45,000,
5,000.
yeah, second.
Got it.
That's for the boat.
So we're
Yeah.
at
Let's clarify that.
45,000, okay.
We're at 45,000
And I'm
for the
putting, gonna post it on the Wisconsin surplus auction, is that where? that's where
Correct.
we're all- Okay, all right.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, say nay, motion carries. Discussion or decision of proposal from Ryan Brothers for emergency medical services.
Because of the situation with the Cambridge Fire Commission and all the things that are going on, and we decided at the last month's meeting to go out for, get a proposal for Ryan Brothers so that we're covered in case that all falls apart down there, or what, we don't know what's gonna happen, but, so we're protected, we need to get some idea what costs were, so they did submit a proposal. I believe it was $48 per capita, correct?
It was, I don't know.
Almost 50.
Yeah, almost 50, I think it was $49.44 or something like that.
That was the estimation, yeah.
And according to this, there's no buy-in of 30,000, yeah, 49.44 per capita. There was no buy-in of the 30,000, that wasn't mentioned, so it's, the one, it would be one ambulance, the one that's, the same one that the city has at the fire station right now, but they have, yes, I was gonna say, they have another one, there's actually two.
It's an ambulance, not a transport.
Okay. So there would still be the same ones, and they would not need to add another one, they didn't feel. So basically, that's their proposal.
My only two questions I have on it is, one, the contract is up in a year.
Pardon?
Their contract is up in about a year. So, you know, what's their plan? Are they staying? I'm assuming that when this contract's up, that it's gonna be renegotiated.
You're talking about what's the city going to be doing?
Yeah.
Or what's Ryan Brothers' offer gonna be to the city? You know, they do have, you know, oh, never mind, I won't go there. Then the other thing is then if the ambulance then runs in a town like Mills, then I'm assuming there's going to be a charge, right?
Just, yeah, it would be the same, I would assume that the 80 to 100,000 that they were talking about bringing in off of the Lake Mills calls, it's the same thing they're building as well. So yes,
I mean, for yours.
no. That's the price.
Okay, all right.
The contract would be with the city.
Right, yeah, I see that, yeah. But if you're gonna be using the Lake Mills Fire Department's ambulance,
That contract is for either ambulance or.
okay. Somebody has to put gas in that thing.
You'll get the primary. So currently, we're already separating the budgets based on the requests that, we want to keep them separate.
Right.
So we're already doing that. So basically, at that point, then, the money would then just come out of, it would all be one. Because you're already paying for that within the fire contract as well for emergency medical services.
Okay.
But right now it's separated, so town of Ascalon gets charged for the non-separated rate. So your fire contract is based on a separated rate, so that way you're not being charged for our ambulance currently.
Right, correct. I remember that conversation.
And with the contract right now, basically, it would end up being, you guys, in that contract, it's, part of the money goes to the city, and then there's a reimbursement kickback at the end of the year. So currently, right now, 49.44 is the contractor rate. I want to say, I wasn't ready to answer this question. I know Ascalon is like at 47, 48 per capita.
Yeah.
The other thing you don't have to do is rent a building of $30,000.
48 for Aston right now.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just saying, so if you
But
do-
we don't know what's gonna happen. I don't think
Yeah.
we got the question answered, what happens in a year? Is the city gonna try to do their own thing, or is,
Yeah, that's my
or
my
is,
thought.
there's a lot of unknowns there
That's
too?
not on the radar right now.
That's not on the radar. So it'd be a renegotiation of,
So my thought is it's good to have this information, but I think before we make any decisions, we need to kind of wait for at least 2 more weeks to see what's going to develop, after tomorrow night's meeting, and till we get an answer of who's in, who's out.
yeah, I mean, we have to be in a position to make a decision
Yes.
at our December board meeting.
Yep, either that or we can always do a emergency meeting too.
Yep,
That's my thought.
yep. Yeah, we have to let due process unfold here. We have that
Yep.
meeting tomorrow night, so.
make a motion to postpone the decision on this till December.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision of adoption of proposed amendments to Town Ordinance 4-1, General Offenses.
I'll make a motion that we
Adopt.
adopt the amendments to Town Ordinance 4-1 General Offenses as printed.
You gonna do discussion?
I will, yes.
Yeah, second.
After this, yeah. Any other discussion?
Yeah, just a couple things, on, what is it, 3-D. One, there's no case law, and in here it says about if you're gonna, use this for hunting, that such weapon shall not be carried or used for hunting purposes within 100 yards of a dwelling. So if you have no case law and you're walking into the woods and you're passing within 100 yards of someone's house, then how does that apply? Should it be, cannot be
Fire.
discharged?
Discharged is
Discharged.
typically,
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah.
So.
That's state law too, I mean.
Yeah, which I think, it would be a good thing to discharge. And then, the other thing is, in here, it has in here that, for target shooting, it has to be a licensed target practice range. So what about, target shooting in your backyard when you have a adjacent landowner that's within that 100 yards?
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Never can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
State law says 100 yards.
Yeah, it's 100 yards,
Okay.
yeah, discharge, yeah.
Okay. All right, that's,
So there should be an edit to just,
Where, yeah, I guess I don't Where do you want that added, so Robin gets
It'll be 3D.
3D, yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
and it's going to be in the last sentence.
Okay.
Further provided that such weapons shall not be carried, used, or discharged?
Yes.
Is that, okay.
Yeah.
Carry or, well, it says or used, okay. So you want used to be discharged?
Discharge.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And carried, I think you would cross out, because it'd be legal to carry.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's no
Shall not
case
be.
law.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
so-
Okay.
Shall not
so-
be discharged for
So
hunting.
we'll strike carried as well.
Yeah,
Strike
carried
Yes.
or used, strike that and just say discharged.
Shall not be discharged for hunting purposes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay, all right,
good point, Dave.
that's it?
Yep, that was it. I'll leave you alone on the rest of them too.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
As amended, yeah.
As
Yes,
amended.
aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision of adoption of proposed amendments to Town Ordinance 5-5, regulation of traffic on icebound waters of Rock Lake.
I make a motion to approve the amendments to regulation of traffic on the icebound waters of Rock Lake.
I will second Jim's motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision of adoption of proposed amendments to Town Ordinance 5-16, placement of homes or structures on parcels of land outside of a platted subdivision.
Make a motion to approve that as amended also.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, say nay. Motion carries. 15, correspondence.
I just got a thank you letter from the Martin family for the flowers for Wayne's funeral. That's been pretty much it. Just in case anybody wanted any information, as far as the election, we had 95% turnout, which was a lot of people.
That's good, yeah. It's really
We
good.
had 1,585 voters come through, and we had 1,666 on the poll list when we started for the day, and we had 98 new registrants. It was a very busy day. So, but it went smooth.
It was very well ran, Robin.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought it went,
Very well ran.
We did pretty good, so.
yeah.
Didn't take very long to get to the line.
No, they
There
had
was
it,
a
they had
line,
it,
but we
yeah.
got through it.
at all.
Yeah, us either.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I think you did a great job, and the staff did too.
Yep.
All right.
Discussion of future agenda items.
I'll have an ordinance, which one did I?
Yeah.
Parks ordinance, and then the whatever we tabled tonight, we'll
Right.
postpone. That's all I have.
Okay.
Meeting scheduled December 3rd, 2024, Plan Commission meeting, 7 PM in the Town Hall. December 12th, 2024, Joint Rock Lake Committee meeting, 6 PM at City. C, meeting to be announced, Parks Committee, 7 PM at the Town Hall. December 10th, 2024, Town Board following the electors meeting at 7 PM at the Town Hall. Want to move in closed session
I'll
here?
make a motion, we go into closed session.
I'll second that.
Make sure you read.
Yep, I'll read it here. Upon duly made, seconded and adopted by roll call vote, as anticipated, the town board will convene in a closed session pursuant to section 19.85-1E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, more specifically concerning intergovernmental emergency services agreement.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Do you call it?
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries and move into closed session at 8:09 PM.